Today's global AI and technology briefing has three headline signals. First, reports say Hugging Face is being used to create non-consensual explicit deepfakes, including against women and children. Second, Perplexity is bringing its agentic personal computer tool to Windows, pushing AI agents closer to everyday desktops. Third, the largest U.S. grid operator may temporarily cut power to large data centers to prevent blackouts, showing how AI infrastructure demand is becoming a physical reliability issue. The main takeaway: AI is moving from demos into public platforms, personal computers, security products, and power grids, so builders need abuse controls, enterprise governance, and resilience plans at the same time. Story 1 is the strongest safety and security issue. Wired security feed reports that researchers tested top image editing models on Hugging Face and found they could easily create explicit deepfakes. The Verge also reports that Hugging Face is being used to make non-consensual deepfakes and says the open-source AI model repository is doing very little to prevent it, according to a new report. The confirmed facts here are about platform abuse and model misuse, not a claim that every model or every user is malicious. But the risk is direct. Open repositories can accelerate innovation, and they can also lower the barrier for harmful synthetic media if safeguards, reporting systems, and takedown workflows are weak. Why it matters for everyday users is simple. Non-consensual sexualized deepfakes can become harassment, extortion, reputation damage, and child safety harm. For AI builders, this is a warning that content policy cannot be bolted on after deployment. If your product hosts image editing models, accepts community uploads, or offers inference for generative media, you need a clear abuse taxonomy, age and consent controls where appropriate, model cards that describe misuse risks, enforcement staff or automation, and fast response paths for victims. For enterprises, procurement should ask whether an AI vendor can detect synthetic media abuse and remove harmful models or prompts quickly. Uncertainty remains around exactly how each platform will respond, but the direction is clear: trust and safety is now core AI infrastructure. Story 2 is agentic AI on the desktop. The Verge reports that Perplexity expanded its personal computer tool to Windows, allowing Windows PCs to be used as a locally run AI system, similar to the Mac version. This is important because Windows is the world's most common desktop operating system. When an AI agent can operate on a personal computer, it may help with research, files, workflows, and repetitive tasks. It can also create new questions: what can the agent see, what can it click, what credentials can it access, and how does a user recover if an agent makes the wrong change? The practical guidance is to treat desktop AI agents like powerful automation, not like a search box. Users should start with narrow permissions, test on non-critical files, and avoid granting access to password managers, payment flows, admin consoles, or private company repositories until there are strong controls. Businesses should require logging, policy enforcement, sandboxing where possible, and clear data handling rules before letting agents operate across employee machines. For software makers, the retention hook is not just smarter agents, it is safer agents that ask before irreversible actions, display what they plan to do, and keep a human in the loop for high-impact steps. Story 3: AI security is becoming a product category. Ars Technica's Technology Lab feed says Microsoft unveiled AI security tools that it says outperform competing platforms and cost less. Separately, TechMeme highlights Mate, a company developing a platform for AI agents to detect, respond to, and proactively hunt threats, raising a $35 million Series A. TechMeme also highlights Cyra agreeing to acquire Oasis Security, which focuses on non-human identity security, in a deal valued around $1 billion. These are not the same announcement, but together they show where enterprise security spending is moving, toward AI-assisted detection, machine identity, and tools that can manage the explosion of service accounts, bots, API keys, agents, and automated workflows. For defenders, the opportunity is faster triage and better coverage. The risk is overtrust. An AI security tool can summarize alerts and suggest investigations, but it still needs reliable telemetry, least privilege access, audit trails, and human review for containment decisions. Non-human identity deserves special attention because AI agents and automation often need credentials. If those credentials are long-lived, overprivileged, or poorly monitored, a helpful agent can become a broad attack path. The checklist is boring but powerful: inventory service accounts, rotate secrets, use short-lived tokens, monitor unusual token use, and separate read-only AI analysis from actions that can disable accounts or change infrastructure. Story 4 is the infrastructure side of the AI boom. TechCrunch reports that data centers may face temporary power cuts to prevent blackouts on the largest U.S. grid starting next year. TechMeme also reports that Core Scientific and AMD announced a deal under which AMD will secure more than 500 megawatts of U.S. data center capacity starting in 2027, with an ability to scale up to 2.5 gigawatts. Those two items point to the same constraint: AI compute is not only chips and software. It is power, cooling, grid interconnection, backup planning, and regional reliability. For businesses building on AI clouds, this changes vendor questions. Ask not only about GPU supply, but also about energy redundancy, demand response, regional failover, and service level objectives during grid stress. For builders, design applications so they can degrade gracefully, queue non-urgent training jobs, cache frequent responses, shift batch workloads across regions, and separate critical inference from experimental compute. For policymakers and local communities, the AI infrastructure race now intersects with electricity planning. Confirmed facts today are limited to the reported grid operator policy and the AMD capacity deal. The broader analysis is that compute growth is making energy resilience a board-level technology risk. Story 5 is the model strategy debate. TechCrunch reports that Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei responded that he does not oppose open-weight models, but fears China's AI capabilities. MIT Technology Review's AI feed also points readers to a broader discussion of open models and the Hugging Face attack precedent. The useful takeaway is not to reduce the debate to open versus closed. Open-weight models can support transparency, research, local deployment, and competition. Closed models can sometimes centralize monitoring, rate limits, and response. Both approaches need evaluation, misuse monitoring, and incident response. Finally, TechCrunch reports that Fish Audio raised funding to build AI voice models for creators and enterprises. That is a useful market signal, and it connects back to safety. AI voice tools can help creators localize content and businesses automate communication. They can also enable impersonation if consent, watermarking, account controls, and abuse reporting lag behind adoption. The same principle applies across today's briefing. Whether the system creates images, voice, agents, security analysis, or data center load, the security question is who controls it, what it can affect, and how quickly harm can be detected and reversed. Today's action list: if you host or use generative media, review deepfake abuse controls and takedown workflows. If you test desktop AI agents, limit permissions, and keep humans in high-impact loops. If you buy AI security tools, demand auditability and do not hand over broad credentials without identity governance. If you depend on AI compute, ask cloud vendors about power resilience and regional failover. And if you build with open or closed models, document the misuse cases before launch, not after the first incident. Sources are in the description. This channel focuses on defensive, practical technology decisions, not hype.